Hey, what is up guys? I'm your boy Nick with Pick My Man. In this video we're going to be taking a quick look at the UFC 295 1 week before this fight is coming up. This fight card is coming up on it's going to be going down in Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York, United States on Saturday, November 11th, 11/11/2022 2023 I mean at 6 p.m. I cannot wait for this card, man. This is an absolute banger. Even though John Jones versus a Stipe fight fell through, I mean, the replacement that we have, Tom Aspinall versus Sergei Pavlovich, that's got to be one of the best replacements out there for the heavyweight weight class. Anyways, let's get into it, guys. We're going to go over the whole card, the full fight card quickly. We're not going to go into too many details. I already broke the whole fight card down before, but we're just going to take a quick look at the whole card. Let's get right into it, guys. Yeah, so we have the first fight on the prelims. We have Steve Erceg taking on Alessandro Costa. They just made this fight. This is a replacement. Steve Erceg was supposed to take on Matt Snow. I think he was supposed to take on Matt Snow, but that fight fell through. Matt Snow ended up pulling out. I think Matt Snow was ranked in the top. I think he was ranked number 11th. Let me check here. Yeah, Matt Snow was supposed to be. I think he was ranked number 11th or in the top, ranked in the top 15th. At flyweight, but now we have Alessandro Costa coming off a really good win over. He's coming off a win over Jimmy Flick. Jimmy Flick cannot strike to save his life. Jimmy Flick's been knocked out like 3 or 4 times, and then we did make money on Jimmy Flick. We did pick Alessandro Costa by knockout, and we made good money there. That was one of the easiest picks ever. And Costa got it done in the second round there, so really good for him there. He's coming off that really good win. Before that, he got knocked out by Amir Albazi. He got uppercutted really badly. And before that, he was fighting in one of those, I can't remember the name of the promotion, but he's competed on Dana White Contender Series 2 before. He's a good kickboxer. He's got a black belt in BJJ. He's got good ground skills. And he's got good power in his hands. He definitely has knockout power. Most of his wins have come by knockout, KO, TKO. And he's going to be taking on Steve Erceg, man. Steve Erceg is one of the best prospects out of Australia. He's one of the best flyweight prospects out of Australia. He made his UFC debut on short notice against David DeWerk. I mean, David DeWerk was a huge favorite over him. David DeWerk was like a minus 400 over him. And Steve Erceg just proved all the doubters wrong. And he picked up a really good win over David DeWerk. I mean, they had a really good fight. It was definitely fight of the night, I think. And then he got a bonus 50K in his UFC debut. So they really gave him a good step up in competition against Matt Snow. And I was very confident in him to beat Matt Snow anyways, but Matt Snow ended up pulling out. So here we go. Now we have Erceg going up against Alessandro Costa. Both of them have good ground game. I think Erceg is a little bit better submission grappler, but on the feet, I think Erceg is gonna be the better striker. I don't know if he has more power when he throws, but he's got more. He's going to have the speed with him. In the striking, he's going to have the better speed. He's going to have the better combinations, I think. But I think he's going to land the more volume also. If I'm being honest, I think Steve Erceg throws a lot more volume than Alessandro Costa. Alessandro Costa is the power puncher. He's going to be the one that's going to be hitting a little bit harder. But he's going to be much smaller here. I mean, he's 5 feet 4 inches tall. Against Erceg, who's 5 feet 8 inches tall. I mean, he's gonna have a big height advantage here, but the reach is only at 1.5 inches more reach advantage for Erceg. I'm gonna take Steve Erceg by I don't think he's gonna submit him. I mean, Alessandro Costa has been finished before. He's been knocked out twice. I'm gonna pick Steve Erceg by decision. I think it's gonna be a unanimous decision for Steve Erceg here. I think he's a really good prospect at flyweight, guys. Hey guys, next up we have Kang, Mr. Perfect, taking on John Castañeda. Let's get right into it, guys. So we have Mr. Perfect, who is 19-9 overall in his career. He's 36 years old, so he's getting up there in age for this weight class, fighting at bantamweight. Usually fighters after 35 years old don't really do all that well fighting at 135. But Kang is the different beast, man. This dude is got what it takes to beat these guys at bantamweight. And he's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. I mean, he's doing really well, man. He's only lost to Rani Yaya, which isn't a good look, man. Rani Yaya is a good submission grappler, but doesn't have anything on the feet. But then he's bounced back since then. He's beaten Dana back Giro, and then he beat Christian Quinones. Christian Quinones was he's a favorite over him, I think. And then he just Christian Quinones overextended himself in the striking, and then got knocked down. Kang Khan has really good counters. I mean, he's 5 feet 9 inches tall. He's gonna be a little bit taller here over Sexy Mexi. Kang Khan's gonna have a reach advantage here, 2-inch reach advantage here too. So he's probably gonna be able to pull back and land counters over Castañeda. Castañeda is a good fighter, man. He's good all around. He's got good ground game, good striking. But he's a guy that can gas out. I mean, we've seen him gas out a couple of times before. He gassed out against Daniel Santos. He had kicked Daniel Santos and dropped Daniel Santos in the first round. Then he was beating him up. He was beating Daniel Santos up, dropped him a couple of times, dropped him once or twice. He even took him down. I mean, John Castañeda has good wrestling, man. He's got good wrestling, good pressure. He's a guy that can definitely wear on you. He definitely just beat up Muin Gafurov the whole 3 rounds. Muin Gafurov barely had anything for him. And Castañeda even dropped Muin Gafurov too on the feet in the first round. But still, man, he's done pretty well. He got a submission win over Miles Johns. I mean, that's a good win. Miles Johns is a good grappler. I mean, good striker. Has good takedown defense. And he just wore Miles Johns out with his pressure. And then he beat Eddie Wineland. Eddie Wineland is way past the prime and retired. So, still a good win over Eddie Wineland, though. I mean, then last two, Nathaniel Wood. No shame losing to Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood's been competitive with everyone he's faced. But other than that, he's done very well. But I think John Castañeda is the favorite here on the money line. Let me check the odds here, guys. So we have where's the odds? Let me check the odds for this. So we got where's the odds? Here we go. So John Castañeda is what? He's minus 142, and Kang Khan is plus 120. Yeah, I do like Kang Khan here, guys. I think Kang Khan's. I mean, he's probably not gonna be the better striker, because Castañeda has good striking. Probably better, probably more cleaner striking in my opinion. But Kang Khan, I mean, he's good. He's got good counters. I mean, he can definitely land a big bomb and then stun Castañeda and jump on him with a choke or something. That's what Kang Khan does really good in. I mean, he's a guy that's gonna be able to stun you, land one of his counters, then drop you, then jump on you with a guillotine choke. I mean, he's got some of the nastiest submissions. The way he dropped Christian Quinones and jumped on his back, and then choked him out, like that was so fast too. Didn't even give Christian Quinones any time to recover. I'm gonna take the underdog here, guys. I think most people are picking most people in Tapology are picking Kang, but I think most people are gonna be picking Castañeda, because he is the better fighter here. He's gonna be the more cleaner fighter. I mean, they have about the same fights, but I like Kang Khan here as underdog. That's my pick. Kang Khan by Club and Sub, guys. That's my pick. Hey guys, next up at women's strawweight we have Tabatha, Ricci, Baby Shark taking on Lupita, Godinez, Lupi versus Baby Shark. Let's see who gets it done. We have a Ricci who's 9-1 in her MMA career versus Godinez who's 11-3. So Lupi has more experience in MMA. She's been in the UFC for a little bit longer than Tabatha Ricci, but Tabatha Ricci's been very active. She's had like 5 fights in the last 2 years and a half. She made her UFC debut against Manon Fiorot, up a weight class on short notice, and she got knocked out. She was way too small for Manon Fiorot at that weight class. She's definitely a strawweight. She should not be fighting at flyweight. She's only 5 feet 1 inch tall at flyweight. That's way too small. So I'm glad she moved down, and she's been winning ever since. She beat Maria Oliveira by decision, beat Poliana Viena by decision. She beat Jéssica Penne, which is a good win over Jéssica Penne. Finished Jéssica Penne with the armbar, and then she beat Jillian Robertson. I did pick Jillian Robertson because I thought Jillian Robertson was gonna. I thought the fight was gonna hit the ground, and Jillian Robertson was underdog there. So I thought maybe in the grappling exchanges, Jillian Robertson might be able to pull out a submission or something. But Tabatha Ricci is a very smart fighter. She's got good striking. I mean, not the cleanest striking. She doesn't have a lot of power, but she's got good volume striking. She's gonna keep throwing on the feet, not give you a chance to set anything up on the feet. She's only 28 years old, 5 feet 1 with a 61 inch reach. She trains out of Pereira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So she's got a good grappling. She's got a black belt in BJJ, and that's how she usually beats these girls up. She's able to just outstrike them Doesn't have a lot of sting in her punches, but she's just able to land enough volume just to outstrike her opponents. And even if fights do hit the ground, she's very good grappler. She's able to stay out of dangers when the fights hit the ground, and then she knows what's happening on the ground. She knows what she is doing on the ground, and she's able to avoid any submission attempts by her opponents. I mean, Godinez, she's got good striking. We saw her knock down Elise Reed and submit her. I mean, she's got more pop in her punches, I think, in this fight. I think they have about the same type of striking, but I think Lupita Godinez hits a little bit harder, and she's also got a good ground game of her own. She's got good wrestling. I think she's got the better wrestling. She's going to be the more physical fighter here, a little bit more physically stronger. But Tabatha Ricci is very slick, man. She's super slick, and she's going to be 2 years younger here. But my pick is Lupita Godinez. I think she's just going to be able to just land enough volume maybe. But this is not a fight that I'm confident in. The odds are very close for this fight. I think Lupita Godinez is what Tabatha Ricci is plus 120. So a lot of money has come in on Tabatha Ricci. She opened up at plus 142 and went up to plus 160. But since then, money has been coming in on her. And she was plus 154 on October 29th. And then since then, the money has been pouring in on her. This fight should be a pick-em in my opinion, because who knows who's going to win this fight. I mean, I'm not confident in Lupita Godinez, and you shouldn't be confident in Tabatha Ricci either. But if this fight stays on the feet, I think Tabatha Ricci has a pretty good chance. He can definitely outland Godinez, because Godinez fights very close to her opponent's level. She doesn't, but if she lands enough harder shots in this fight, she's able to just stun Tabatha Ricci a couple of times. Even if she gets outstruck by Tabatha Ricci, if she just lands enough harder shots, she might be able to get the decision. But 5 over 2.5 in this fight is definitely a lock. I don't think either girl's finishing either one. I think my pick is Lupita Godinez on the scorecards, guys. That's my pick for now. I might change it to Tabatha Ricci in the next week or so. But actually, man, Lupita Godinez, like, this is a very 50-50 fight. And I might go with the underdog here, Tabatha Ricci, man. She's about plus 140 on some books. Yeah, Lupita Godinez, she went to split decision. I think she's faced a higher level of competition. She's faced Emily Ducote, faced Elise Reed is pretty horrible. She lost to Angela Hill. I mean, she did have a good moments in that fight against Angela Hill, but then she got dropped. I think she dropped Angela Hill. I think maybe, if I could be wrong, but she beat Carnalosi. I mean, so not the best look for her. I mean, Tabatha Ricci has done she's undefeated at strawweight. She's gonna be a little bit smaller. I'm gonna go with Lupita Godinez for now, but I might change my pick later down the week. Yeah, either way, these girls are gonna go to decision. I think you can put that in a parlay. Alright guys, next up at lightweight we have Nazim Sadykhov taking on Viacheslav Borshchev. Nazim Sadykhov's 9-1 in his last 10 fights. He's going to be taking on Viacheslav Borshchev, who's a striker, 7-3 in his last 10 fights. Nazim Sadykov is 5-0 in his last 5 fights, and Viacheslav Borshchev is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. So we have Nazim Sadykov, 29 years old, taking on Borshchev, who's 31 years old. So Nazim Sadykov is going to be the younger fighter here. He's going to be 1 inch smaller in height at 5 feet 10 inches tall against Borshchev, who's 5'11". And they have about the same reach, 69 inch for both guys. Nazim Sadykov is training out of Longo and Weidman MMA, taking on Borshchev, who's from Team Alpha Male. So this fight, if it stays striking, I think Borshchev is going to be the more technical striker, the better technical, the more crisp striker. But the where this fight changes is where if Nazim Sadykov comes in here with a wrestling game plan, because Borshchev has 35% takedown defense, which is pretty horrible, man. 35% takedown defense is pretty horrible. I mean, Mark DeCasey was taking him down on will. Even Mike Davis just ragdolled him for the whole fight, and this dude cannot defend a takedown to save his life. That's the advantage that Nazim Sadykov has. But if Viacheslav Borshchev has been working on his takedown defense at Team Alpha Male, which he has been for quite a long time now, but I don't think Mahashate even went for 1 takedown against him. He stayed striking with him, which was a bad idea, and Borshchev knocked him out. But that's the thing on Nazim Sadykov. He's got pretty good striking. that he can use to get into the takedowns, get into the hips of Borshchev. So that's why I'm gonna be going with Nazim Sadykhov here. I think he's gonna win by decision. I think I don't know if he's gonna be able to get a submission because Borshchev has never been submitted. It looks like he's really works on his submission defense. But I think Nazim Sadykhov is gonna be able to out-wrestle him for 3 rounds. And Nazim Sadykhov, I mean, he took down Terrence McKinney in the 2nd round. I know he grabbed the fence, I think, grabbed the cage, but it is what it is. I mean, but he's got good striking too. He can definitely hang on the feet. It's not like he's gonna be outclassed with the Borshchev on the feet. My pick is Nazim Sadykhov by decision, guys. That's my pick for now. Guys, next up at men's featherweight, we have Denis Buzukja taking on Jamall Emmers, the great versus the pretty boy. Let's get right into it, guys. So we have Denis Buzukja. He's 11-3. In his MMA career, he's going to be taking on Emmers, who's 19-7. So Emmers is coming in with a lot of experience in this fight. Buzukja is 26 years old, 5 feet 9 inches tall with a 70.5-inch reach. He's going to be taking on Emmers, who's 34 years old, so way older than Buzukja here. He's going to be 8 years older than Buzukja. He's 5'10 with a 74-inch reach. So we know Denis Buzukja, he made his UFC debut against Sean Woodson. And he was walking forward, putting the pressure on him. That fight he took on short notice too, I think. And he got outstruck and out-wrestled in that fight. His takedown defense looked pretty horrible. But he's going to have a full camp for this fight. He trains out of Ray Longo and Weidman MMA gym. But this is a huge step up in competition. I think Jamall Emmers, even though I picked against him, I picked Jack Jenkins against him. I picked Jack Jenkins by decision at plus 330. We cashed there pretty nicely. Even though technically, I think Jack Jenkins lost that fight. I mean, Jamall Emmers was like a plus 1200 favorite, I think, or plus 2000 favorite at the end of the fight. But the judges gave it to Jack Jenkins. That's the problem I have with Jamall Emmers. He's not a guy that usually goes out there and finishing anyone. He's going to go to decision more likely. And then he keeps his fight super close with his opponents. He's not a guy that's going to separate himself on the scorecards. And that's the one thing I don't like about Jamall Emmers, guys. I am going to pick him here because he's got really good wins over guys like... he beat guys like Askabab, who's a fraud. He was beating Pat Sabatini up before he gave up that heel hook. So he does make a lot of mistakes in his fights. He beat Rafael Barboza. He beat Kaya Machado. That's a good underrated win. Kaya Machado bounced back last week, I think, in LFA. And then he beat Corey Sandhagen. That's a really good win for him. He beat Alexander Hernandez too by split decisions. So you can see he goes to a lot of split decisions. And that's the one thing. And he's getting up there in age. He's 34 years old. But he's going to have a way better game overall, MMA game over Denis Buzukja. Denis Buzukja is still a young guy. He made his UFC debut. And this is going to be his 2nd fight. And this is a big step up in competition for, I think, Buzukja here. And if he doesn't submit Jamall Emmers, I think he's going to be in trouble. I think the Buzukja's best chance is going to be to find a submission early. Because I've seen him slow down. He doesn't look the best when he slows down. I think Jamall Emmers is going to be able to push the pace on him. He's going to be the better striker. And I think the value is definitely in Denis Buzukja. Denis Buzukja as well, plus 260. I mean, there's a lot of value in Denis Buzukja. He opened up at plus 270. Jamall Emmers should not be a minus 340 at all, anytime over anyone. Because this dude fights super close with his opponents. And but I'm going to be picking Jamall Emmers by decision. But it's not a guy that I can trust. He's not a guy that I can put into parlays and trust to go out there and do his job. Because he's going to be super. He makes a lot of bad fight IQ moves in fights. Makes a lot of mistakes still. Even with the 26 UFC fights. Not the UFC fights, but at 26 MMA fights. He's a guy that's going to make a lot of mistakes out there. So I think the value is on Denis Buzukja on the money line at plus 260. But my pick is definitely Jamall Emmers by decision. Guys, next up at lightweight, we have Jared Gordon Flash taking on Mark Madsen, the Olympian. Let's get right into it, guys. So we have Gordon, who's 19-6 in his MMA career, taking on Madsen, who's 12-1. So Gordon does have a lot of experience over Madsen here. Gordon is 35 years old, taking on Madsen, who's 39 years old. Gordon's going to be 5 feet 9 inches tall, but against Madsen, who's 5'8". And Gordon's going to have a reach of 68 inches against Madsen, who's got a 72-inch reach. So Madsen's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage here. And Gordon, I think it's simple. This fight is pretty simple to break down. I think Gordon's going to be the much better striker. He's going to have more volume on the feet. And Madsen's going to be the better grappler. I mean, he's Olympian, so of course he's going to be the better grappler. But Gordon, takedown defense is pretty horrible at 62%, I think. Let me check here. I think his takedown defense is what? 62%. So pretty horrible takedown defense for Gordon. And but I mean, he got I don't think he was the one out wrestling Paddy Pimblett. He got robbed in that fight. Before that, he beat Leonardo Santos way past his prime. Then he got submitted by Grant Dawson. I mean, Grant Dawson's the top contender. No shame losing to him. But he beats Joe Selecki. That's a good win for Gordon there. I am gonna pick Jared Gordon here because I think if he can defend the takedowns, he's gonna be the better striker. He was outstriking Bobby Green. He was landing on Bobby Green in the first round before the accidental head clash. But Madsen, I mean, he's got good pressure. He's got good wrestling. If he gets his wrestling going early, I could definitely see Mark Madsen getting it done. But Mark Madsen doesn't have the best cardio either. He does slow down a lot in the second and third round. So and he's 39 years old, so he's getting up there in age. I'm gonna pick Jared Gordon by decision here because I think if he can, as long as he defends the takedown, he's gonna get a win here by decision. I think this fight goes the distance for sure. I think you can put that in a parlay. I don't see either guy getting a finish in this fight, guys. Alright, guys, next up at men's flyweight, we have Joshua Van taking on Kevin Borjas. The Fearless taking on El Gano. I'm not even gonna say that. What's that nickname, bro? Jesus Christ. He's gotta change that freaking nickname. Anyway, Joshua Van is 8-1 in his MMA career. He's gonna be going up against Borjas, who is 9-1. So both of these guys have similar MMA experience. Joshua Van's gonna be 22 years old against 25 years old Borjas, and they're gonna be both 5 feet 5 inches tall. And Van has 65-inch reach, and whereas Borjas has 68-inch reach, so he's gonna be at a 3-inch reach advantage here. And this fight is pretty simple to break down. I think Joshua Van's a more well-rounded fighter. He's a fighter that can definitely go for submissions. He's got pretty good grappling too. He's got some calf slicer submission before. He got a knockout over Paris Moran. He was losing that fight before he knocked out Paris Moran in the third round. So Van, I mean, he's a really good young prospect, 22 years old, so still very green. But he looks to be making improvements, man. He made his UFC debut against Jalgas Jumagulov, everyone's favorite UFC fighter, with the favorite hairstyle and everything. And he made his UFC debut against Jalgas and beat him up on short notice. He took that fight on like a week's notice too. And he was able to put it on him in the striking, man. His hand speed looks crazy fast, and he's got really good kicks, really good striking. And I like him here against Kevin Borjas. Kevin Borjas made his Dana White Contender Series debut against Victor Diaz as a plus 500, I think 500 underdog. And then Victor Diaz looked absolutely horrible. Victor Diaz looked like washed up. And Victor Diaz had nothing on the feet for him. He was trying to hold on to him for dear life. And Victor Diaz looked absolutely horrible. But other than that, he's been submitted before. He got submitted by Renzo Mendes back like 4 years ago. So no shame losing to Renzo Mendes. And Renzo Mendes has good grappling. But other than that, he's done very well. He's on a 4 or 5 inch streak right now. But I feel like Joshua Van's gonna be the cleaner striker. He's gonna be the one with the better speed here. And I think both of them have pretty good durability. I don't think he's gonna knock him out. Maybe. Kevin Borjas has never been knocked out. I'm gonna pick Joshua Van by decision. I think he's gonna outstrike him and win a 29-28 decision, maybe a 30-27. I'm gonna say Joshua Van 30-27 decision. I think he's gonna land the better shots on the feet, and I don't think either guy's gonna go for submissions. Maybe if anyone goes for submission, it's gonna be Joshua Van. I think he's got the better grappling. We could see Joshua Van mixing in some takedowns too, just to put a stamp on the round. So my pick is Joshua Van by decision. I think 30-27 decision, guys. As we have a really good the main card opener here. We have really good fight at lightweight. We have Benoit Saint-Denis, the God of War, taking on everyone's favorite fighter, Matt Steamroller Frevola. Let's get right into it, guys. So Matt Frevola is 11-3-1 in his MMA career. He's going to be taking on God of War, who's 12-1 in his MMA career, only losing to Gillespie up a weight class at 170. That's when he's made his UFC debut against Leslie Gillespie. So no shame losing to Leslie Gillespie, who's got a win over Sean Strickland. But yeah, man, this fight's gonna be pretty simple. I think Matt Frevola is 33 years old against Benoit Saint-Denis, who's 27 years old. So Benoit Saint-Denis is gonna be much younger here. He's gonna be 6 years younger almost. Steamroller is 5'9" with the 71-inch reach. He trains out of Gracie, Tampa South, and he also trains out of what's his name, Ray Longo and Weidman Gym. Yeah, he trains with what's his name, the former bantamweight champion. Damn it, I can't remember his name right now. The one that got knocked out by God damn it, Sean O'Malley. Yeah, Aljamain Sterling. Yeah, Aljamain Sterling. I can't forget his name. Anyways, so he's going to be taking on Benoit Saint-Denis, who's 5'11" with the 73-inch reach. So Benoit Saint-Denis is going to have a height advantage here. He's going to have a reach advantage here. He's going to be much younger here. So everything's pretty much favoring Benoit Saint-Denis. And I think Matt Frevola is going to be the one that hits a little bit harder on the striking. I think Saint-Denis I think Matt Frevola is going to be the better striker. But I don't know if Matt Frevola is going to throw enough volume out there. But I think Benoit Saint-Denis is going to be the better wrestler here with the better cardio and the better pressure. And if this fight stays on the feet, I think Matt Frevola can definitely knock him out. Matt Frevola can knock out anyone on the feet. I mean, anyone. But he did get out-wrestled by Armin Tsarukyan. I think Armin Tsarukyan took him down like 11 times or something like that. Absolutely insane. Let me pull it up here. I think, how many times did Tsarukyan take him down? Tsarukyan took him down like, 10 times. I mean, holy shit. I mean, I think he's worked on his takedown defense, but he hasn't faced a wrestler since then. I mean, he faced Terrence McKinney, who knocked him out in the first punch in the 7 seconds. So, but since then he beat Valdez, then he beat Ultimate Jaitar. None of these guys are going for takedowns. Even Drew Dober didn't go for any takedowns. So, all of these, he's facing a grappler now, a grappler that can strike too. So I think he's gonna be worried about the takedown for the takedowns and worried about Benoit Saint-Denis shooting on him. So he's probably not gonna throw as heavy as he usually does. He's probably gonna be a little bit hesitant because I think he was hesitant against Terrence McKinney. Terrence McKinney can definitely go for striking. Terrence McKinney can definitely go for grappling. Uses grappling sometimes. We've seen Terrence McKinney shoot right away in the first round sometimes. So I think that's why he got knocked out, because he wasn't expecting Terrence McKinney to throw a big right hand at him. Left cross that knocked him out cold. But other than that, man, Matt Frevola is a pretty good fighter. He's got very heavy hands. And Benoit Saint-Denis, I think he's the better well-rounded fighter than Matt Frevola here. But my pick is Benoit Saint-Denis because I think he's going to be able to use the wrestling early, wear him out. I mean, the way he wore Thiago Moises out in the second round, I picked Benoit Saint-Denis by second round submission. And a lot of people were picking him by, I think they were picking him by decision against Thiago Moises, because not a lot of people thought that he would go out there and finish him. I mean, I think I was with the 23%, 44% people were picking him by decision. And not a lot of people, even the Benoit Saint-Denis inside the distance was plus money. So I'm glad that we cashed there, made a lot of money on Benoit Saint-Denis last time. And in this fight, I think he's going to be play inside the distance. I think Benoit Saint-Denis is going to finish him. I'm going to call a submission by second round submission for Benoit Saint-Denis. I know Matt Frevola has very good wrestling too. He's got good takedown defense. But if you're getting taken down 10 times by Tsarukyan, I mean, Tsarukyan's got pretty high level wrestling, but so does Benoit Saint-Denis. The way he just ragdolled the Thiago Moises, that's very high level, man. This guy's gonna go to some places. I think he's gonna be the ranked in the top 10 soon. My pick is Benoit Saint-Denis by second on submission. But would I be shocked if Matt Frevola knocks him out in the first round? Because I wouldn't be shocked at all. Because Benoit Saint-Denis, he's got a habit of striking for the first round. He's more than willing to just straight get into the firefight. And if he gets into a firefight with Matt Frevola, he can definitely get his lights shut out here. But I think Benoit Saint-Denis got a pretty good fight IQ. I don't think he's going to go out there and start throwing hammers with Matt Frevola. Because if he does, he can definitely go to sleep. But I think he's going to be smarter here. I think he's going to be smart. He's going to use his game plan. And I think Benoit Saint-Denis is going to get a submission second round. Maybe a TKO second round, ground and pound. Because that's the only way Matt Frevola has been finished, I think. I don't think he's ever been submitted before. He hasn't been submitted before. He's got knocked out twice. I think Benoit Saint-Denis is going to be the first one to get a submission in. And I think he's going to do it early in the second round, guys. That's my pick. Benoit Saint-Denis by second round submission. Guys, next up we have a really good matchup at featherweight. I think we have a really good matchup at 145. Between Pat Sabatini taking on Diego Lopes, and Pat Sabatini is 18-4 in his MMA career. He's 4-1 in his last 5 UFC fights. I mean, he's only lost to Damon Jackson, where he got knocked out cold in the first minute or so in the fight. Damon Jackson had his brother. I think that before that fight, his brother died or something. So rest in peace, Damon Jackson's brother. And then he was super emotional, and Damon Jackson came out there and just sparked Pat Sabatini. But in this fight, he's gonna be taking on Diego Lopes, man, who's 20 years old, still not in his prime yet. And Diego Lopes is 5'11" and with the 72.5-inch reach, taking on Pat Sabatini, who's 33 years old. So a little bit on the older side for this weight class. Sabatini is going to be 5 feet 8 inches tall with a 70-inch reach. So this fight is pretty simple, man. I think Pat Sabatini is the better wrestler, the better grappler. I think the more he can stick to you like glue. I mean, that's the way he's beating these guys. He beat Jamall Emmers. He did get knocked down, I think, in the first round by Jamall Emmers. Then he picked up that really crazy heel hook and then submitted Jamall Emmers in there. Then he out-wrestled Tucker Lutz. Then he out-wrestled TJ Laramie. Then he submitted Lucas Almeida. The way he beat Lucas Almeida was crazy, man. He just dominated Lucas Almeida like nothing. And Lucas Almeida can definitely strike, man. Lucas Almeida has good striking. Lucas Almeida has knockout power on the feet. But so Pat Sabatini has very high level grappling. But on the feet, he's definitely suspect, man. He can definitely get clipped and put out in the feet. That's his problem. He's been knocked out once, I think. He's been knocked out twice. And on the feet, he's very suspect. He can definitely get knocked out here. Because Diego Lopes is going to be much bigger here. Diego Lopes has really good BJJ also. He's got really good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He trains at he's the main, I think, Alexa Grasso's main grappling coach. And he's got 12 wins by submissions. And he's 1-1 in the UFC. His only loss was to Movsar Evloev, where he gave Movsar Evloev a really hard, tough fight. This is a tough fight to pick. I think the odds have them really close. Let me check here. I think the odds are basically a pick 'em. Pat Sabatini is -135, and Diego Lopes is +114. I think if their grappling cancels each other out, if Pat Sabatini doesn't get a hold of Diego Lopes early, I could definitely see Diego Lopes just outstriking him on the feet. Because Lopes is the better striker, man. That's what you guys gotta know. Pat Sabatini seems very stiff on the feet. It doesn't seem comfortable when he's striking. And he's gonna be much smaller here, 5 feet 8 inches tall. But his grappling is next level, man. Pat Sabatini's grappling is next level, dude. This dude has really good cardio. He's never been submitted. He has been knocked out twice before. He's 5-1 in the UFC. He's got 2 submission wins, 3 wins by decision. Where he out-grappled Alex Caceres too. He choked him out in the grappling. So that tells you how good this dude's grappling really is. I mean, he beat Jesse Stern too. Beat a lot of other guys too, man. But his other knockout loss was to James Gonzalez, where he had an arm injury. But other than that, he beat Damon Blackshear too by decision. I mean, that's an underrated win. I think people are sleeping on Sabatini here. I know Diego Lopes is very good. I picked him against Gavin Tucker by first round submission, and that's exactly what he did. He submitted Gavin Tucker. I think Gavin Tucker was really bad. And I don't rate Gavin Tucker at all, if I'm being honest. And I think Gavin Tucker was it was basically a pick'em fight. The fight was basically a pick'em. A lot of people were really high on Gavin Tucker there, but not me. But Gavin Tucker had pretty good wrestling, but I think this is a tough test for Diego Lopes here. But if he beats Pat Sabatini, if he comes out here, knocks him out, I would not be shocked. Because Pat Sabatini is definitely, he needs to work on his striking. But if he gets a hold of Diego Lopes, he can definitely stick to him like glue and just out-wrestle him. I'm going to pick Pat Sabatini by decision, but this is not a fight I'll be betting. Yeah, I'm not confident at all in this fight, but I think the value is on Diego Lopes by a KO or TKO. I think that's gonna be his path to victory. He's gonna be able to. I don't think he's gonna submit a guy like Pat Sabatini, but I could definitely see him knocking him out. Cause I think Pat Sabatini on the feet is definitely needs to work on his striking, and that's where Diego Lopes is gonna have a big advantage over him. He's going to be much bigger. He can definitely strike because he throws a little bit harder. He throws with more sting on the punch, with his punches. I mean, and I think if you guys are going to be betting on this fight, I think the value is on Diego Lopes as underdog. Alright guys, next up in the women's strawweight division, we have, is this a strawweight division? Yes, strawweight division. We have Jéssica Andrade taking on Mackenzie Dern. And this is the number 9th ranked fighter versus number 5th ranked fighter. So Jéssica Andrade is 24-12 in her MMA career. She's on a 35 losing streak right now, 2-3 in her last 5 fights. She's only 32 years old though. She's still very young, but she's 5 feet 1 inch tall with a 62-inch reach. She's gonna be taking on Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern, the divorced Mackenzie Dern, who's on absolute freaking. She's an absolute beast as she's coming off that divorce. She beat the piss out of Angela Hill for 5 rounds. I mean, she dominated Angela Hill like Angela Hill took her lunch money or something. That was one of the worst beatings I've ever seen Angela Hill catch. She knocked down Angela Hill, so her hands look really good now. So her striking is really coming along. Mackenzie Dern is 30 years old at 5 feet 4 inches tall with a 63-inch reach. She's going to be 3 inches taller here with the 1-inch reach advantage. And this is a pretty simple fight. I think Jéssica Andrade, she's going to be at a grappling disadvantage here. She's going to be the better striker. I don't know if Jéssica Andrade is the better striker, if I'm being honest. I think she hits a little bit harder. But she throws a really wild, man. The way she was throwing against Zhang Xiaonan, I mean, I bet on her against Zhang Xiaonan. That was one of the worst bets I've ever made. And she got knocked out cold. And she just throws very wild. I don't even think she's coming into the fights with any game plan anymore. She's just been showing up for her paycheck in her last 3 fights. And she's just been getting finished back and forth. She got finished by Erin Blanchfield, finished by Zhang Xiaonan by knockout. In the first round, finished by Tatiana Suarez. No shame losing Tatiana Suarez. But she's been finished back to back in her last 3 fights. Mackenzie Dern is putting up a fight against everyone. She put up a fight against Xiaonan. That was a very close fight. That should have gone to Mackenzie Dern in my opinion. But she did have a competitive fight for Zhang Xiaonan, who's looking like one of the best contenders at strawweight for herself right now. She's coming off a dominant win over Angela Hill. Coming off a good win over Titisa Torres. Then she had a competitive fight, Marina Rodriguez. She got a good armbar win over Nina Nunes. My pick is pretty simple. I don't think Jéssica Andrade is training anymore. I don't think she's taking a career serious anymore. I think she's had too many fights and she's had too much wear and tear on her body. And she's way too small. She's 5 feet 1 inch tall. I think Mackenzie Dern's going to dominate her on the feet, dominate her on the ground. I think she's going to find a submission on the ground. I'm going to say Mackenzie Dern gets a first round submission, guys. First round submission win for Mackenzie Dern. That's my pick. Guys, next up, we have the co-main event of the evening, guys. If you guys haven't yet, hit the like down below. Hit the subscribe to the channel. I make content almost every single day. I make a lot of UFC content. I make a lot of LFA content. A lot of other MMA promotion content. I even make boxing content. If the boxing cards are big enough, I'll make content for boxing too. But let's get back into the predictions, guys. We have the co-main event of the evening. We have the UFC interim heavyweight title on the line. We have Sergei Pavlovich taking on Tom Aspinall. Sergei Pavlovich is 18-1. I mean, well, look at this guy's record, man. This dude has not lost since losing to Alistair Overeem in his UFC debut. I mean, he got taken down by Alistair Overeem and ground and pounded. And then he pretty much gave up to Alistair Overeem. Alistair Overeem was a beast too. So no shame losing to Alistair Overeem. But since then, he knocked out Maurice Green, who's an LFA. Knocked out Samil Abdurakhimov. Abdurakhimov isn't all that good, but then he knocked out Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis is still a dangerous fighter. Knocked out Tai Tuivasa, who's a dangerous brawler. Then he knocked out Curtis Blades. I mean, I picked Sergei Pavlovich over Curtis Blades as underdog. I made money on him by first round knockout. And a lot of people were really high on Curtis Blades against him. They thought that Blades would take him down and then ragdoll him on the ground. And that's not what happened. Sergei Pavlovich absolutely dominated him on the feet. And Blades was just scared to shoot the whole time. And this dude's jab is super nasty. He's going to be the better striker here. I think Sergei Pavlovich is going to be the one with more power on the feet. He's going to have the better chin also, I think. And this dude is an absolute tear right now. He's 31 years old. So he's going to be 1 year older than Pavlovich here. I mean, Aspinall here. But look at this reach and height, man. Sergei Pavlovich is 6'3" with the 84-inch reach. I mean, this reach is absolutely insane. trains out of Eagles MMA Academy. He's going to be taking on Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is one of my favorite fighters. I picked him by first round knockout and he paid pretty well. We made some easy money on him there. We picked both of these guys. I mean, I've been picking both of these guys in their last couple of fights, and they've come through for us. The only time that Aspinall didn't come through was when he had a knee injury. So he has had a surgery for that, so we don't know how good his leg is now, if he's fully recovered. I know Sergei Pavlovich was supposed to be the backup fighter for Jones versus Stipe, so he's been training the whole time. He's been preparing for Jones or Stipe. So you gotta think that he's been preparing on his takedown defense. He's been working on his takedown defense, and his takedown defense is pretty good. He only got taken down once by Alistair Overeem, and that was the only time he was taken down. Other than that, he's been defending takedowns. And Tom Aspinall is going to be the better well-rounded fighter. I think he's going to be the one with the better speed here, and he's got good striking too. He's going to be the smarter fight. I think he's going to be a smart fight better fight IQ. He's going to have the better fight IQ in this fight. And he's going to be the much faster fighter too, but he's 6'5", so he's going to be 2 inches taller with the 78-inch reach, I mean. So he's going to be at a 6-inch reach disadvantage here. And he's taking this fight on 2 weeks notice. So, I mean, I think Pavlovich was training for this fight already. And then Tom Aspinall is coming off the couch. I did pick Tom Aspinall out first before I saw that he was a favorite on the money line. He opened up at like minus 130, I think. And then Pavlovich opened up at plus 114 or plus 120 on some books. And I'm gonna take the underdog here, guys. I put a 1 unit on Sergei Pavlovich at plus 110, and he's gone down to plus minus 1 or 2 now. So I bet him back when he opened up at plus 114, and then I bet him at plus 110, and now he's minus 1 or 2 on DraftKings. I think this fight's gonna be very close. God damn, I think I had my LFA fight window open. Anyways, I think he's going to be the better fighter here. I think, I don't know who's going to be the better fighter, I'll be honest. This is a 50-50 fight, and the odds have it that way for a reason. Whoever lands the bigger shot is probably going to win. If Tom Aspinall gets his wrestling going, he's probably going to win this fight. But this is a very 50-50 fight, and I'm going to go with Sergei Pavlovich. If I see him lose, I would not be shocked, because I did pick Tom Aspinall at first, and I do think he's got the better well-rounded game here. But I'm going to go with Sergei Pavlovich by knockout. I think if Pavlovich doesn't knock him out in the first round, he's going to slow down. We've seen Sergei Pavlovich slow down before. He gets tired after the first round. And he's been knocking out everyone in the first round. So if it just goes past the first round, which I think it could, if Tom Aspinall gets a takedown, he could definitely win this fight. I would not be shocked if Tom Aspinall gets a takedown and ground and pounds him or gets a submission early. But I'm going to go with Sergei Pavlovich by knockout in the first round. That's my pick for now, guys. As we're at the main event of the evening, guys, we have Jiri Procházka taking on Alex Pereira. I mean, what an absolute banger fight to end this card. I'm so hyped for this card. I already got the pay-per-view. I got the pay-per-view like 2 weeks before. That's how hyped I am for this fight card. Let's get into it, guys. So we have the light heavyweight titleship on the line. Championship on the line, I mean. I said titleship. Anyway, so we have the UFC vacant title on the line. Jiri Procházka had to vacate his title because he had an injury on his. He had to go through a surgery. Then Jamall Hill was able to beat Glover Teixeira for the title, and then what's his name? What's that guy's name? Magomed Ankalaev versus Jan Blachowicz, but that ended up in a draw. So then the title was vacant for a while. And then they did Jamall Hill versus Glover Teixeira, which Jamall Hill beat him up for 5 rounds. I mean, we did pick Jamall Hill there as a slight favorite, I think. And then he had to vacate that title. So whoever has a title has been in trouble. No one's able to hold out that light heavyweight title. I mean, anyways, let's get into it, guys. So with Jiri Procházka, he's 31 years old, 6 feet 3 inches tall with the 80-inch reach. He's gonna be taking on Alex Pereira, the former middleweight champion of the world. 36 years old, 6 feet 4 inches tall with the 80-inch reach. He's training out of Teixeira MMA and Fitness, training with the Glover Teixeira, the former light heavyweight champion Glover Teixeira. So I think this fight's gonna be pretty simple, guys. I think Jiri Procházka is gonna be the more well-rounded fighter. This Look how much MMA experience he's got. He's got 32 MMA fights, man. He's gone what 29-3-1. I mean, that is absolutely wild, man. This dude is an absolute killer. I mean, he's got 100% finish rate. He's only had one fight go to decision. So he's got like a 95% finish rate. I mean, he's knocked out 25 guys. I mean, that is absolutely wild. And Alex Pereira is going to be the better kickboxer, probably the better, more technical kickboxer, probably the more technical striker in this fight. But I don't know how his power translates to 205. He wasn't able to knock out Jan Blachowicz. And Jan Blachowicz has been knocked out before, and he wasn't able to even drop it once. I mean, so I wasn't all that impressed by him. I did pick him against Jan Blachowicz. Jan Blachowicz was able to take him down in the first round, get his back, jump on his back. I mean, what if Jiří Procházka jumps on his back? If Jiří Procházka jumps on his back, he's probably going to be able to get that submission in. I mean, Jiří Procházka was able to submit Glover Teixeira in the last minute of the fight. I mean, Glover Teixeira was up on the scorecards. So this fight is pretty simple, man. Jiří Procházka is going to be the more versatile striker on the feet. He's going to be the better. He's going to have the better ground game, I think. And we don't know how Pereira's. I mean, both of them have pretty good cardio. I think Pereira has the better striking and better striking defense. Jiří Procházka keeps his chin up high. He does get clipped every fight, but he's a tough dude, man. Jiří Procházka is a tough dude to put away. Even Glover Teixeira landed some big shots on him. Even Dominic Reyes landed some big shots on him, and he wasn't able to put him away. Ozdemir was able to land some good shots on him, and he wasn't able to put him away. I mean, Jiří Procházka is one of the toughest guys out there, and I'm not going to be picking against Jiří Procházka until I see him lose. This is a 50-50 fight. I'm going to pick Jiří Procházka. I've been picking Jiří Procházka as a plus 125 underdog, but he is coming off an injury. He hasn't fought in over a year and a half, so that is a little bit concerning. But you gotta think he's been training hard, man. You can't question Jiří Procházka's training. This dude's gonna come in prepared. He's gonna come in with the game plan. He's gonna be looking to finish Alex Pereira, because Jiří Procházka never lost his title. I mean, he's the guy that never lost his belt. He had to vacate his belt. He didn't lose that title, so I think he's gonna come in with a point to prove against Alex Pereira. My pick is Jiří Procházka. I think he's gonna knock him out, guys. I really do. But would I be shocked if Alex Pereira catches him with the hook, with the left hook, and puts him out cold? I would not be shocked at all. But my pick is Jiří Procházka. I don't know if he's gonna get a submission over Poatan, but I think he's gonna knock him out on the feet. I think he's gonna come in with a point to prove, and I think he's gonna knock him out. My pick is Jiří Procházka by knockout, guys. That's my full card breakdown. Let's go over the full card again, guys. So my pick in the main event is Jiří Procházka by knockout. My co-main event pick is Sergei Pavlovich by knockout. So I'm picking both underdogs in the main event and the co-main event for now. And my featured fight on the main card is my pick is Mackenzie Dern by submission. And the next fight, my pick is Pat Sabatini by decision. And the next the main card opener fight, we have Matt Frevola versus Benoit Saint-Denis. And my pick is Benoit Saint-Denis by second round finish. I'm going to say submission for Benoit Saint-Denis. And then for the prelims, featured prelim, I'm going to go with Joshua Wan by decision. And then for the next fight on the prelims, I'm going to go with Jared Gordon by decision. And the next fight, we're going to go with Jamall Emmers by decision. But this is a 50-50 fight. I think the value is on Denis Buzukja, because he's a plus 260 underdog. And I think there's some value in Denis Buzukja there. But in the next fight on the prelims, I'm going to go with Nazim Sadykhov by decision. But he might be able to get a submission if he gets the takedowns going. But my pick is Nazim Sadykhov by decision. And next fight, we're going to go with Lupita Godinez by decision. But I think the value is on Tabatha Ricci, because this Tabatha Ricci has good grappling, and she's a good striker. It doesn't have a lot of power on the feet, but my pick is Lupita Godinez by decision. I think the over 2.5 is a lock on this fight. I don't see either girl finishing the fight. And the next fight, we're going to go with Kang as underdog pick. I'm going to pick Kang by club and submission. And then in the first fight on the prelim, we're going to go Steve Erceg by decision, guys. So those are my picks. Let me know who you guys have in each fight. I would love to hear back from you guys in the comments down below. And those are my full card picks for the fight card, guys. I'm going to do more fight tape study. I did some tape study for this fight card video predictions. But I'm going to do more fight tape study throughout the week. And I'll probably make more videos for this fight card throughout the week. So subscribe to the channel, guys. I make weekly content. I make content every other day. and I'll probably be doing some live streams throughout the week. So stay subscribe to the channel, like the video down below. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for watching this content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.